It's the DVO show. Welcome back with me, your host, DVO, Derek Van Otten, and I'm excited to bring another episode to you. Thanks for always tuning in and subscribing and following and everything. I appreciate everyone so much because I just want to give you guys tips to have a better life, all right? In my opinion, again, everything I give you guys on this episode, on this show, is my opinion, and I hope it brings great value to you. It's just information that I have found throughout the years have worked well for me and others. Okay, on this episode, I'm going to give you a tip. I'm going to give you some advice. And I think and I hope that the advice I give you on this episode will save you tons and tons of time and energy. All right? I guess most of my tips I want to give you saves you a lot of time and energy. Only provides you with great tips and advice and things like that. But what I'm going to talk about is, basically I want to say this to you. You cannot control the uncontrollables. You can only control your attitude and your reaction. That's it. That's all you can control. You can't control what someone does to you. You can't control what somebody says. You can't control sometimes how you feel. Right? These are just things that happen. But here's what you can control. You can control your attitude and your reaction to it. If someone says something mean to you, and maybe they really mean it, or maybe they're just trying to hurt you, can you control that? You can't. You can't control what someone has said. All you can control is your attitude about it and your reaction to it. Is your reaction to get mad? Is your reaction to get sad? Is your reaction to laugh? Is your reaction to walk away? Right? Those are just some of the reactions you can have to it. And what is your attitude towards it? Do you feel victimized? Do you feel attacked? Do you feel sorry for the person saying those things to you? Maybe that's how they feel about themselves. They're trying to convey it onto you. Who knows? Who knows? So that's what I'm saying. You can't control the uncontrollables. And saying that to you, I hope this does save you a lot of time and energy. For example, if you are in a relationship and in that relationship, it's not going well. The person says or does a lot of things that hurt you. You can't control that person. You can control what you do about it. Maybe it's time to leave. Maybe it's time to go to counseling. Maybe it's time to have a heart-to-heart. Maybe it's time to go on a date and talk about your feelings, right? These are the things that you can control. You can't control what other people do, and you can't try to control other people. You can't manipulate them. You can't control them to do what you want them to do. You can't control them to think how you want them to think and make them believe that that's how they also think. Hopefully that makes sense. What I'm saying is you can't control the uncontrollable. All you can do is control how you react and your attitude about it. That's all you can do, because there's some people out there that are going to say things, right? You're going to make a decision. Maybe it's a job change, maybe it's a relationship change, maybe it's starting something new, maybe you're going to start a family. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I don't know what you're going to do, but you will do something. You will make a change. You will do something, and people will question you. People will give you some remarks like, I don't think you should do that. I don't think that's a good idea. I heard so-and-so did this and it didn't work out for them. People have a tendency to not want others to succeed. I guess that's the way to put it. Obviously, you want all your loved ones to do well and you want them to have great things going on in their life. But there's always some part of you, when you see someone succeeding, you get a little bit of jealousy and you want them to not go to that next level. You want them to stay on your level. Maybe you're scared. Maybe you're scared that they're not going to talk to you anymore, because there is a point when your frequencies don't line up with some people. Maybe they're people you've been with a long time. And sometimes their frequencies, they just kind of go out of balance. And that's hard. And no one wants to see that, right? It gets sad. There's times where I had to not talk to certain friends because we just got on different levels. I'm not saying I was at a higher level than them or they were a higher level than me. We just got on different levels. And our frequencies didn't line up anymore. It just became exhausting, energy speaking, to hang out with this person because they would talk about something that you have moved on from. They were telling stories from the past, and you've moved on to a different story of your life, a different chapter of your life, and you just have had to move on. And that's what I'm saying on this episode. You can't control those things. You can't control what someone does or what they say or the actions they take. You can't control that. You can only control yourself. That's all you can control. That's all you can control. And if you understand that, I think you'll be better at peace. If you have a child and you want a child to do a certain field, for example, the culture that I have grown up with, that my mom has, is they want a lot of people to be in the medical field, or they want someone to get a good job. And for me, that wasn't a path that I wanted to take. I didn't want to get a good job. For me, I don't know of any good jobs. I've had jobs that were decent that I could tolerate, but I've never had a job where I was like, oh, I can't wait to spend the next 50 years here. There's no way. Nothing's come up that for me for that. I wanted to go a different route. My mom didn't approve of that route. And she was adamant that I go get a job. And there was one point where I was struggling, and I got a job. And I remember her reaction when I told her I was applying for a job, and when I got the job, I told her I got the job, and how elated she looked that I had this job. And I won't forget that. She almost jumped out of her seat with joy that I got this job, because she was so worried that as an entrepreneur, I wouldn't be able to provide for my family. Again, at that point, I was struggling. I was providing, but it was a struggle. It was definitely a struggle. We're making a lot of sacrifices. And I remember the look. She almost jumped up and hugged me. She was so excited that I got this job. And I kind of smiled. I mean, I was glad I got the job. I mean, I did apply for the job, and out of everyone, they chose me. But I wasn't going to be happy there. I knew it. I knew it was just a stepping stone. It was a stepping stone for me to work, make an income, provide for my family, kind of get back on track. I was getting behind with my finances. I knew that was kind of going to help me a little bit. But I knew in my heart of hearts I wasn't going to stick around. And then when I did quit, I remember, again, my mom's reaction. Are you sure? That was her question to me. Are you sure? Are you sure you're going to quit? Are you sure this is a good idea? You're gonna try to be an entrepreneur again? You're gonna try to be out on your own and just try to earn your paycheck every day again? Because you struggled before. I mean, she wasn't saying these exact words to me. Or she did say, "Are you sure?" She didn't ask me that. Are you sure? That for sure she said. But everything else, I could read her face. This is the question she was asking through her face that I could read was, "Are you sure about this, son? Because you didn't do so well the last run. You didn't do well the run before. Are you sure this is the one?" Fortunately, it was the one. And she's seen me. She's seen me grow as an entrepreneur. And I think she's very happy now that I don't have a job. In fact, I remember her telling a story, maybe to my wife, I'm not sure, but she was telling a story to my wife where she said, "Oh, I remember Derek when he was growing up, he said that he wanted to be a contractor." I vaguely remember this. There was other jobs that I thought about doing. It's that old cliche when you're a kid. What do you want to be when you grow up? You remember that? I remember there was a few things that I wanted to be. I wanted to be an NBA basketball star. That was one of the things. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. Believe it or not, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. A cartoonist. I thought that'd be kind of fun, drawing cartoons. I soon found out that drawing cartoons wasn't really my forte, so that fell to the wayside pretty quick. The stand-up comedian, I think I remember there was a time I was wildly afraid of public speaking. Now I do it a lot. I do it often now, but there was a time where I was deathly afraid of it. So I think there was a point where the stand-up comedian also fell through. There was a point. Like I said, the NBA star, yeah, that wasn't going to happen. I think maybe I'm better than average, but I definitely do not have NBA quality in me. Contractor, I do remember that a little bit, saying I wanted to be a contractor. The reason why I wanted to be a contractor was because they were in charge of the whole job. They were in charge of everything. They hired everybody. They got everything fulfilled. They got everything lined up. That was a contractor's job. They were the head honcho of getting everything done. So I remember that, but it wasn't maybe on my priority list. But I remember, anyway, back to the original story. My mom telling, I believe, my wife this. I remember when Derek was a little kid, he said that he wanted to be a contractor. Basically saying he always has wanted to be an entrepreneur. He always wanted to run businesses. And it's true, right? For the most part, even if you think about being a stand-up comic, they're self-employed, right? They don't work for anybody. They're self-employed. So that was always been something I wanted to do. Just kind of struggled with it. But with my mom's heritage, with the culture, I guess I should say, the culture is you don't do that. So for them, it was like, why don't you get a job and work like me? I've been here for 30 years and I'm retiring. Do that. I can't do it. It's not in me. But so I couldn't control my mom's feeling towards that. I couldn't control my mom's words when she said, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Right? I mean, obviously I was like, ugh. I couldn't control how excited she got when I did get the job and I knew I wasn't going to be happy there. I can't control that. But what I could control was my attitude. My attitude was just smile. And also my attitude was, I'll prove them wrong. That was my attitude. My attitude was, I will prove to them that I will make it as an entrepreneur, that I will be successful in business. I just felt I would do it. I just felt that that's what I was made to do. And so far, it's worked out pretty well for me. Could be better, and every day I'm working on it. So I can't control that, right? I can't control my mom's words. I can't control her feelings, but I can control mine. I can control how I reacted to it. I did remember when I was over visiting with her, and I was struggling. She was like, "How is business going?" And I said, I'm trying." And she said, "Why don't you just go get a job? You need to stop doing this. You got to stop." And I was trying to be nice. I was like, "No, I mean, I can't do it, Mom. I have to keep trying." And she was adamant that I quit and I go get a job. And I kind of snapped. I said, "I don't want to work for someone. I just don't. I can't work for somebody." I said that. And then, I don't know, maybe a few months later, I ended up applying, getting that job. So at that moment, she was right. And I snapped. It might seem like for no reason, but it did prove to her that I was serious about it. However, I didn't control myself well, right? I lost control at that moment when I kind of snapped at her. And now she's very proud of me. She sees how hard I work. I'll go over to visit her. I have to step away and take phone calls. But you can't control the uncontrollables. And you have to understand that. And you have to understand to let things go. There's sometimes you need to let things go. Sometimes you need to let people go. Going back to the story about my mom. Now, I love my mom. My mom might be one of my greatest heroes, my mom. Okay? I look up to my mom a lot. I respect my mom a lot. It's also part of the culture. You have to respect your mom. And it was hard to argue with her about that. But I can't control her feelings. All I can control is how I react and how I respond. And so that was my attitude was, I will have to prove them all wrong. I need to prove to my mom that I can do this. I need to prove to my wife that I can provide for her. And I gotta prove to my wife's family that I can provide for her as well. And that just put the weight on my shoulders. And sometimes that's what you need. Anyway, that's another episode topic. So that's what I want to say on this episode. Okay, you can't control the uncontrollable. You have to let things go sometimes. You have to let people go. Oh, going back to my mom, letting people go. There was a time where I had to not go over there as much. I used to like going over there. She would babysit my niece, and I would like to go and see them a lot of times. But it got to a point where every time I went there, it was, "How are things going? Can you help me do this?" And it was a distraction. It became a distraction going over there. "Do you want to come eat? Can you help me do this on the computer? Can you fix this for me?" It all became a distraction. I had to stop. So I didn't cut my mom out of my life, but I had to cut the time with my mom out a little bit. Now, I can spend more time with my mom. Now I've put myself in a position where I could spend more time with her. That was part of my goal, right? To spend more time with family. So I had to step away from family for a while so I can get to a point where I can spend more time, more quality time, I should say, with my family. And so sometimes you have to cut people out. So I didn't cut my mom out. I just cut time with my mom out. And now I can spend more time with her. She sees I'm doing well. She sees I'm happy. And we can go to lunch together. We just went to lunch on Friday. My wife, our baby, and we took my mom with us. And we went out to a nice dinner at a nice restaurant. In fact, I think on the next episode, I'm going to talk about this restaurant and the owner and chef of this restaurant. I'm going to talk about that a little bit on the next episode. Anyway, I hope this answers things for you when I'm saying when you can't control the uncontrollables. Stop wasting time on things or with people that are distracting you, that are hurting you, that are sucking energy and life from you. You can't control them. Sometimes you need to cut them out. You can't control the uncontrollables. You can only control yourself, your actions, your attitude. That's all you can control. And when you realize that, I hope that brings peace to you. I hope that's a recognition for you to say, I need to stop something. Or now's the time to do it. I can't control that time is ticking away. I can't control that this year I'm going to be a year older. And then the next year I'll be another year older. And then the next year I'll be older again. I can't control these things. So I need to make things happen now. Now is the time. If there's a business you want to start, if there's a career you want to get into, if there's a hobby you want to start, do it now. Don't waste time. You can't control that time is escaping and you need to make action now. Thank you for listening once again. Have a great one. Bye.